Welcome to the Forecast Pro Introduction to Baseline Forecasts. As we've already seen, you can bring in external data into Forecast Pro TRAC version 3. In this lesson, what we're going to do is discuss how you can actually assign this external information to become the baseline forecast that's used within the system. Let's take a look at an example within Forecast Pro. As you can see, I currently have multiple forecast rows turned on. The first is the statistical row. This is what Forecast Pro generated as a baseline forecast. I also have two additional external forecasts that I've brought in, management's forecast and sales forecasts. One way to easily review this is to look at it graphically. If I were to turn on the graph, as you can see, I currently have my statistical forecast turned on. If I were to right-click on the graph and go to Graph Settings, you'll see I have this external data drop-down box where I can turn on other information into the graph. So for example, if I were to turn on management's forecast and sales forecast and go ahead and say OK, what you'll see is it will overlay the three rows that I currently have in my override grid. The statistical forecast, management's forecast in blue, and the sales forecast in purple. Now after reviewing the item, if I wanted to come in and say, look, I want to use the sales forecasts for this item, I can simply go ahead and right-click on the sales forecast itself and choose the option that says Set as Baseline. And you'll notice that the sales forecast is now our top row in our override grid. Our final forecast reflects that this is our baseline forecast. Our statistical forecast is still visible, as well as our management forecast, but it is our sales forecast that is being used. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and do this on a more larger scale basis, what I can do is I can simply right-click on the override report itself and go to our override control panel. We have a new tab called Baseline Forecasts. What this will allow you to do is it will allow you to actually assign the baseline for a variety of items. So for example, I'm showing all the items that have statistical as their baseline forecast. If I were to go over here and look at my sales forecast, you'll see the individual item I selected has been applied. I could come in and apply the sales forecast, for instance, to all of my SKUs in my Stuff Mart category and hit apply, and then now the sales forecast will be the baseline for all of these items that you can see here, whereas if I were to go to another customer, it will be using the statistical forecast as the baseline. Within the control panel itself, we also have the ability to filter down for these items. So for example, if I came in here and I chose my sales forecast, and I said I wanted to apply this to all of my cakes, I could type in cakes. It will show all of my cakes here in my report. I can select all, and I can go through and apply this, and now for all of my cakes items, we'll use my sales forecast as a baseline. So as you can see, there's a variety of different ways to apply these different baseline forecasts.